Thank you for coming to Worcester's Pecha Kucha Volume 2. My name is Keith Cross and I teach letterpress at the Massachusetts College of Art and Design. I use this 500-year-old technology to teach a new generation of design students the origins of their craft, help them visualize their designs in new ways, and afford them the patience to consider the possibilities. The phrase "mind your P's and Q's" has many plausible origins, but its attribution to typesetting reminds us to pay attention to the details. Each letter is reversed so that it will print right reading, and students sometimes mistake a P for a Q and even set their type completely backwards. This is my cue to discuss the technology of type. Some students trained with digital tools may recoil at the limitations of letterpress technology. The faces are only available in specific weights and sizes. The type must be set by hand. Even the press is hand-operated. You may hear them mutter, "How limiting," but I encourage them to see the liberating opportunities. The beauty of the limitations is that the design parameters are plain and clear. It's like saving the Apollo 13 mission. Here is what you have to work with. Make it work. And they do. Students explore, experiment, and come to terms with the tools at their disposal. In a sense, they are relearning design skills. It's important to note, I'm not training future letterpress printers. I'm training designers how to use the type and equipment for making effective design decisions. I teach the basic skills over 3 to 4 classes, then cut them loose to solve a design problem. It's a wholly different process than what they're used to. The first class is based on exquisite corpse poems. First, I introduce how the structural elements of letterpress are interconnected, like a collective unconscious. Each student sets a short phrase, a quip, or a line of poetry. Later, these lines are composed together in random order to create a poem. The final result is always revealing. As the poem comes together, I demonstrate the anatomy of type, its parts, how it was manufactured, why it is organized in cases, how letter and word spacing is achieved, how to center the line, and I review terminology like body, nick, shoulder, and depth of drive, among others. The next class is called Meet the Press. We have 3 Vandercook cylinder presses at MassArt, and this class introduces them and all their core functions. Students learn proper inking and roller height adjustment, how to change the tympan, pack the cylinder, feed the paper, register their paper, wash up, and all the various quirks of these old presses. Next, we emphasize the element of time. Students may arrive at letterpress without an understanding of how type was set before modern typographic tools. Selecting an appropriate typeface, setting the type, adjusting the leading, the letter spacing, the word spacing, and line length are just the beginning. Composing the page is the next step. I advise students to keep it modular and give themselves a way to make adjustments throughout the process. Letterpress is very satisfying in that there are helpful standards you can rely on for making quick changes to a composition without getting boxed in. Students are shocked at how much time letterpress takes. Don't despair, I say. Give yourself time to fail once or twice, because you will. It's not pessimistic of their chances. They're good students. I think failing is a positive part of learning to design. With letterpress, failing just takes more time. Remember, there is no undo. And because so much time is required in letterpress, I recommend that students come to the press outside of class to tinker and solve technical challenges. They need to set type, print it, assess its value to their projects, work out their ideas, and discover new ones. This is valuable design time that no student can afford to forfeit. So if letterpress is so challenging, why do we do it? It's the way a letterpress impression catches the light and holds your attention. It's the feeling of holding the type in your hand. It's the visual interest one finds in a case of wood type. And if you like the look and feel of letterpress, you're going to love the sounds. Each semester, letterpress students design and print an exchange portfolio based on a theme they choose. Over the past few years, students have collaborated on a number of themes such as space tourism, anatomy of a typeface, fantasy rock show posters, redesigned book covers, and zoo posters. The design of the portfolio piece is wide open, as long as it contains at least 3 runs of color. Wood type is a favorite among many students because it lends itself well to using type as image. Sometimes we forget how versatile type can be. In Letterpress, there are constant reminders. I also co-teach a book arts letterpress class where students create artist books. Many students cut linoleum blocks, produce etchings, or complete other image making outside of class. This book, entitled Real Imaginary People, contains hand-drawn illustrations for each character. Students choose their own paper and mix custom ink colors. This handmade paper was so thin I thought it might not work well. That student's lips pursed in determination, and as you can see, she proved me wrong. Each page reveals the next in remarkably beautiful ways, and the type weights are balanced in hue. What most students seek in letterpress is texture and meaning. Perhaps some are disconnected with those things produced in the digital realm. Whether with a one-of-a-kind artist book, a broadside of wood type, or some simple keepsake, each student leaves with an indelible impression made by letterpress, and despite all the limitations, they find it very satisfying. I hope to bring letterpress to Worcester someday soon, maybe through the Worcester Center for Crafts. I'd love to hear other suggestions. In the meantime, I hope to see you in one of my classes. Thank you to all the presenters, and especially the organizers of tonight's event. Your efforts have been truly impressive. Thank you.